Welcome to the Yokoy Academy. In this video, you will learn how to create an expense in the Yokoy mobile app by using a photo or PDF of the receipt. You can take a picture of your receipt directly in the mobile app using the camera symbol in the bottom right corner. Alternatively, click on the three vertical dots next to the camera and select Add Receipt to upload one or more documents from your phone's storage or images from your phone's gallery. Please note that only JPEG, PNG, PDF, and HEIC files can be uploaded to Yokoy. Tip: if you choose to use an image of your receipt, make sure there are no other documents visible in the background that could make it difficult for the AI to read the relevant data. Also, the image shouldn't be too dark or blurry, and it's better to straighten the receipt for better results. If you have a long receipt, try cutting it in half to make it fit better in the frame. After you have made your selection, click Add. Once the files have been uploaded and processed, which may take a few seconds depending on the network connection, Yokoy will automatically create individual draft expense forms using the information extracted by our AI from the uploaded receipts. You can find these in the Expenses My Tasks section. Next, open the draft expense by clicking on it to review the details, complete any missing information, and correct any errors if necessary. The options available to you will depend on your company's configuration and applicable policies. Therefore, what you see may differ slightly from what is shown in this video. Swipe up or down on the expense information to reveal the associated receipt. Use 2 fingers to zoom in or out on the receipt by spreading or pinching. To support your claim for possible reimbursement, it is advisable to provide supporting documents. You can attach up to 3 additional documents, each with a maximum size of 5 megabytes. You can either take a picture directly or select an image or file from your phone. Navigate between the documents by swiping or clicking on the arrows. Unlike the originally uploaded receipt, you can delete additional files from the expense. You can only delete the entire expense by clicking on the trash can icon in the right corner. The first field to check is the business purpose or description. This is by default the vendor name that the AI reads from the receipt, and it is advisable to change it using the little pen symbol next to it to make it clearer what the purpose of this expense is. Ensure that the receipt currency is correctly selected, and if the AI has not already done so, enter the full receipt amount. You can also add extra charges, such as tips or card fees, to your expense. If the currency of the expense differs from your company's currency, the amount will be automatically converted using the exchange rate on the payment date. Here, you can also see the status of your expense. Yokoy may display information, warnings, and error notifications to alert you to any violations of company policy, errors, or missing mandatory information in the expense. Actionable cues can be found beside the relevant field or at the bottom of the screen. If a notification is triggered, you can either adjust the expense or submit it as it is. These notifications can also be seen by manager and finance users. All fields marked with an asterisk are mandatory. If you leave any of these blank, you will not be able to submit the expense, since the Submit button will be grayed out. Missing data is highlighted in red. Check that the expense payment date on which the expense was incurred is correct. Use the small arrows on the right side of the screen to open and collapse each section for adjustment. In the Cost Allocation section, concepts such as the cost object and categories are grouped together. Check the category assigned to this expense by the AI and adjust it if necessary. The AI learns from each expense that you submit, improving its ability to assign the correct category. You may have been assigned a default cost object. If not, select the cost object to which this expense belongs. Enable Advanced Allocation to add additional cost objects or categories and decide how and where the expense amount should be split and allocated. Next, select the payment method that you use to pay for the expense. Select Paid Privately if you paid in cash or with your personal bank card and wish to be reimbursed. Otherwise, select the company card that the transaction occurred on. Depending on your company's policies, you will usually not be reimbursed for the expense, but instead the amount will be deducted from your company card account. If your card expense has already been matched with its corresponding transaction, the relevant fields will be blocked from editing. You will need to unmatch the expense first. Make sure that the country in which the expense was incurred matches the receipt currency. You are automatically selected as a participant by default. If necessary, add the relevant participants to the expense. You can search for Yokoy users from the same company or organization, as well as adding external participants. During your editing process, you can click the X button in the top right corner to either save your changes and exit the expense, or discard your changes and exit without saving. To access additional expense fields, click on More Options. Select the tax rate and gross amount for countries from which your company can reclaim VAT. Alternatively, a finance user can take care of this. For expenses relating to a work trip, select the relevant trip here. You can only add expenses to a trip if the trip's feature is enabled for your company and if you have created a trip that has not yet been submitted. Next, add company-specific tags to provide more information to your expense. Leave a comment in the activity timeline if an expense has a warning and has been discussed with a manager, or if you wish to provide additional information about the reason for the expense. Once you have filled in all the required information, a notification will appear at the bottom of the screen saying, "This expense is ready to submit." You will then have two options to proceed. Click Save Draft if you want to save the expense and return to it later. Click Submit if you want to submit the expense. After clicking Submit, your expense will disappear from the My Tasks menu because it will no longer be an open task. You can view your submitted expenses in the Expenses Submitted section. Here you can track them through the approval process, and through the three dots you can access the activity timeline or recall the expense to make adjustments. You can also swipe right in the expense overview to access the recall or archive quick actions. Now you can successfully create and submit expenses via file upload in the Yokoy mobile app. Thanks for watching and have fun exploring Yokoy.